So you have decided to ruin your life and empty your wallet by buying a 30-year-old German sports sedan. And honestly, I respect that poor decision-making because the BMW E36 is worth every headache, but only if you know exactly what you are getting into before you hand over the cash. Buying an E36 today is like walking through a minefield where the mines are made of brittle plastic and cooling fluid. So the very first thing you need to do when you pop that hood is not to admire the engine, but to look at the cooling system. This is the Achilles heel of this car. The radiator necks are plastic and they snap, the thermostat housing is plastic and it cracks, and the water pump from the factory had a plastic impeller that would disintegrate and send shards into your engine block. So ask the seller immediately if the cooling system has been overhauled, and if they say no or they do not know, budget for a complete replacement on day one, including a new radiator, metal impeller water pump, and aluminum thermostat housing. Once you've cleared the cooling hurdles, you need to get down on the ground and look at the suspension mounting points, specifically the rear shock towers. This is a critical structural weak point on the E36, where the rear shocks can literally punch their way through the metal into the trunk if the car has been driven hard or has stiff suspension. So pull back the carpet in the trunk and look for stress cracks, or worse, daylight shining through. While you are under the back of the car, check the rear subframe mounting points, because on the non-M models, the subframe can tear out of the unibody floor, which is a catastrophic repair that costs more than the car is worth. So if you see cracks or welding repairs down there, run away unless you are a fabrication wizard. Now let's talk about the engine sounds, specifically the infamous Vanos rattle. If you were looking at a later model with the M52 engine, listen for a sound like marbles in a tin can coming from the front of the valve cover around 2,000 to 3,000 RPM. That is the variable valve timing unit wearing out, and while it will not blow up the engine immediately, it robs you of power and is a pain to rebuild. Check for oil leaks because these cars mark their territory aggressively. Look at the valve cover gasket, which always leaks onto the exhaust manifold, creating a burning oil smell. Check the oil filter housing gasket, which leaks down the side of the engine, and check the power steering lines, which are almost guaranteed to be sweating automatic transmission fluid, because BMW used awful clamps from the factory. Inside the car, lower and raise every single window, especially on the coupes, because the window regulators are made of cheese and hope, and replacing them requires bending your arm in 3 places and sacrificing a goat to the automotive gods. The door panels are another soreness point. Check if the pockets are separating from the main panel or if the top rail is popping off near the lock pin, because gluing them back together never really works permanently. Do not forget to check the headliner, as the fabric almost always separates from the foam, leaving you with a sagging tent touching your head. If the car is an automatic, ask when the fluid was last changed, and if it has the General Motors 4-speed automatic, know that it is reliable but slushy, while the 5-speed ZF automatic is better but prone to reverse gear failure. However, the manual gearboxes are generally bulletproof. Just check for the 5th gear lean, where the shifter does not center itself when cold, which is a detent plin issue. Rust is your final enemy, so inspect the jacking points under the side skirts, the bottom of the doors, the edges of the wheel arches, and the trunk lid right above the license plate lights. If you find a car where the cooling system is refreshed, the subframe is solid, and the rust is minimal, buy it immediately, because these cars are getting harder to find in decent condition. The driving experience is worth fixing the door panels and chasing the oil leaks. Just make sure you go in with your eyes open and a toolbox ready.